Alright guys, welcome back once again. In today's video, I want to show us how to take a good measurement. And believe me, before you start measuring, you must know the areas to measure. And we have the 6 basic areas to measure for top, and as well 6 for trouser. And those areas are: 1 for the top, you have to measure the chest, the shoulder, the sleeve length, the round sleeve, the neck, and now the top length. So these areas are the areas you must measure for you to achieve a proper measurement. Now for the trouser, you are going to measure the waist, the hips, the laps, the knee, the ankle, and now the trouser length. So these 6 areas are the areas I'm going to show you how to measure. And at the end of the video, you must be able to know how to go about all the measurement processes. So right now, I have my customer with me here, in the person of Mr. Anthony Waneri. He's my friend and my customer too. So I'm going to use him to illustrate how to get a good measurement. And then, having listed the areas of measurement, I would like you to pay attention to the method I'm going to use to take my measurement. So starting with the measurement now, I like to take my measurement from the chest first, and then followed by the shoulder, followed by the top length, the neck, the sleeve length, and the round sleeve. Now, whatever method you're going to use to approach your measurement, know that there are different methods of measurements, and all measurements will also give you the same fitting at the end of the day, but this is one aspect as well of measurement. So whatever method you already know, no problem, but check out the way I measure and know the one that is better to pick. So at the end of the day, now I'm measuring. One thing you need to know is that in taking the chest, there are different types of measurement on the chest. They have the one they call the body and the chest. But in my own case, I take only the chest measurement as the actual area I'm going to take. In the case that your customer has tummy, you are not the one to manipulate your measurement. Use the tummy as the chest. So what am I trying to say is that when you're measuring, if you put your tape around your customer's chest, tighten your tape this way. Now, when you read the measurements you're having, you have to bring it down to the tummy to cross-check if the tummy and the chest are in line. Whereby the tummy is bigger than the chest, you use the tummy area as the chest. Now, for you to take this measurement, you have to make sure that your tape is touching the shoulder blade at the back. Your tape must touch the shoulder blade. Whereby it fails to do so, you are now bound to have a wrong measurement. So, once your tape is touching the shoulder blade, that means the chest is totally covered, because the chest is as well part of the shoulder blade is as well part of a chest in a circular form. You should not take your tape, having your tape slacked in this form, it will give you a wrong measurement. So when you have your tape touching the shoulder blade, you are covered. So after this note, you take round the tape round. The tape must pass the armpits or the armhole, going round, crossing across the other side. You come across this way and measure. Then, whatever measurement you are going to take, it depends on what he wants. Because most people want it to be fitted, some want it to be big, some want it to be moderate. So you are bound to ask your customer, how do you want to outfit? Fitted, normal, or bogus? Basically, our fathers, they always like bogus measurements, or bogus outfits. Our young guys, they always prefer fitted outfit. So you have to ask, for preference purposes, which one do they prefer? So if they say fitted, you now go about tightening your tape. If they say free, you go about expanding your tape. So right now, I already know that you want it to be fitted, so I'm going to take a fitted measurement. Then how do I take a fitted measurement? By holding my tape close to the chest. Make sure it's not too tight, it's not too big. The tape must be able to glide. It must be able to glide properly. Come closer. It must be able to glide properly. Now once it's gliding, take it down his tummy to cross-check if the tummy and the chest are in line. Once you get to the waist, you make sure that the tape comes across to the waist point. It's part of the chest measurement. The tape must be able to move freely for you to have ease when wearing. So at this point, I can tell you that his chest is 41. That's for the chest. Now, for the shoulder, you turn your customer's measurement this way. Always measure from the tip of the bone here. If you feel your customer, you will feel a bone at the shoulder point. Take your shoulder measurement from that point of the bone across on the neck area, back to the other shoulder. Don't go this way, this is a wrong measurement. you must go across the shoulder, touching the neck, and now corresponding to the other shoulder. So his shoulder is 18. Now, that's for the shoulder. Now the next one you're going to take is the neck. Now you put your tape around his neck. One finger must be inside the neck. Now his neck measurement is 16 and a half. That's for the neck. Now for the sleeve length. Now in the sleeve length they have two types of sleeves, the short sleeve and the round sleeve. Now for the short sleeve, which I'm measuring first, you take it from the tip where you start from the shoulder, take it down. A good short sleeve should or must be able to or must stop at the point of the muscle bulge. Every short sleeves must stop at the muscle bulge for young guys, but for our fathers it might get to be at the elbow, which is their choice. But a good short sleeve must stop at the muscle bulge, at the biceps, the bulge. So his sleeve length for short sleeve is 9. Now for the round sleeve, for this short sleeve, you measure at that point you stopped. Ask your client to coil his hand for you to know the extent of his muscle, the muscle protrusion, if it's going to be bigger than normal. So his round sleeve now is 13. One finger must be inside. That's for the round sleeve or the short sleeve. Now I told you that we have two sleeves, short and long. Now for the long sleeve, you are going to take the measurement from the point as well, you measure. But now, coming to this long sleeve measurement, I have a way or a trick how I get an exact long sleeve. How do I go about it? Immediately after measuring your shoulder, stopping at the shoulder point, then where you stopped, hold your tape that point and take your sleeve length. This method makes you to avoid the issue of having a jump long sleeve or a short long sleeve, because if you take your shoulder and stop here, probably you might have made mistake and start lower than where you stopped to take your sleeve length. By so doing, you are jeopardizing the sleeve length actual measurement. So at this point, once you take your shoulder, if you are making a long sleeve, once you stop at the shoulder point you want, 18, hold it that way and then take the reading for your long sleeve. All long sleeves must be able to cover the bone collar here. Now, for most of us that want to wear watch and the watch will be showing, you are bound to stop 1 inch before the bone collar. That's when they indicate that this is what they want. That's for the long sleeve. Now, in long sleeves, we have 3 round sleeves. We have the round sleeve of for the biceps, for the elbow, and then for the fist. So once you take a long sleeve measurement, you're now bound to take 3 round sleeves, the biceps, the elbow, and now the fist. Then how do you read the elbow? You read the elbow by measuring around the elbow point. He as well must coil his hand for the outfit to allow him bend to lift up stuffs and fold his hand. So you won't go and make an outfit that will restrict his arm movement to be straight. So once he coils his hand, you take the reading. One tape as well, bring inside. So his round sleeve for here now is 12.5. That's 12 and a half. Now for the fist, you put it round, one finger as well, bring inside. His fist is 7.5. That's for the sleeve length for short and long. Now the next step you are going to do is for the top length. Now the top length is something that you should know, that we have different kinds of top lengths. We have a shirt top length, a shirt top length, we have a normal senator top length, and we have those our longer tops that gets to the knee. So at this point, once you measure from your shoulder point down, if you are taking the shirt measurement, it should be hanging. It should be a bit shorter than the normal. But for my senators, I like it to cover the zip of the trouser. Reason being that, should in case your customer encounters an issue whereby his zip gets that point, or he did not lock his zip very well, the top should be able to cover the issue. So all my top lengths must cover my zip. Just like the one I'm putting on, as you can see, it's very long. So if my zip is not properly closed now and my top length is hanging, obviously I'm opening up my zip and it will give me issues to worry about. So all top lengths must cover your zip for proper fitting and proper comfort. So when you take your top length, your top length must cover the zip flap. How then do you do that? Make sure you look towards the legs. Once it gets above the zip, you can take your reading. Now, top length as well can as well be determined by your customer or your client. So whatever top length you want, be it longer than this or shorter, no problem. But for you to suggest for him to have a top length that covers the zip for this reason. That's for the top. Now, coming to the trouser, you have to take the waist, the hips, the laps, the knee, ankle, and then the trouser length. Now, these areas I mentioned are the areas you must measure for you to do that. Then how do you go about it? You measure round his waist circumference. When you measure, you make sure that your tape is fitted on the waist area. After that, you go to the hip. Now, most people don't measure hip, but personally I measure hip. Reason being that some people's waist and hip don't tally and it doesn't synchronize. So for you to have a comfortable outfit, measure all details on the trouser. So taking the hip measurement, you measure around the hip point, the buttocks. Now ask your client to stretch his legs in a walkable distance, the point or the extent he walks, for you to have a fitted outfit. And then bear in mind that most people always have issues of climbing bike, jumping long holes or gutter, and then probably running, so they'll be able to walk comfortably with their outfit. So once the legs are spread, take the measurement. It should glide. The measurement should glide. It should glide. You read your measurement. After that, the next step you are going to do is to take the lap measurement. Then how do you go about it? You must squat down for you to take readings of this lap measurement very well. Now ask the client to remove whatever is in pocket, be it phone, hanky or key, must be removed. You must put your tape round his laps this way and then lap it. As well, ask him if he wants it to be fitted or loose. If in the case, take the measurement accordingly. So for him now, it's going to be fitted. So the tape must be fitted as possible, but not too tight. You should be able to glide and not too free. One finger as well must be inside. After that, you go to the knee. Now the knee is as well one point you have to take note of. As well, once you are taking a fitted measurement, ask him fitted or loose. If in the case, you correspond the measurement as well to be fitted. That's for the knee measurement. Then for the ankle measurement must come across the shoe and the point where his foot is, come this way. Reason for you to be able to wear this outfit comfortably without having to stress yourself. So all these methods are the methods I use to get a good measurement. Now the last but not the least is now the trouser length. Now the length, you must take note where his belt is. Measure properly. His legs must be closed. Measure. Now most people want it to be hanging trousers, so ask them what they want. Whichever one they indicate, you go by that way. So when you measure, all the trouser length must come up after the bone here. You come down. Now his length is 41.5. So whatever method or type of trouser they want, you measure accordingly. Like I told us, at the end of this video, you must be able to know how to measure. And I believe with this my little illustration, you have actually grabbed the little part of measurement. The next step we're going to go into will be the cutting of our outfit and possibly the sewing process. Make sure you watch this video very well. Thank you for watching.
Make sure you subscribe.
So these are the areas of measurement: the chest, the shoulder, the sleeve length, the round sleeve, the neck, top length, and now waist, hips, laps, knee, ankle, and then trouser length. Don't forget, this is your only one Mr. Redefined from Africa. Thank you for watching.